NukeTown holds a very special place in the hearts of Call of Duty fans. Getting your first chopper gunner, hitting clips with the ballista, or simply fond memories of 4-player split screen with the boys, NukeTown was great for many reasons. The first and most obvious reason is its size. NukeTown is an extremely close quarters map, making collaterals, double kills, and kill streaks even more viable. The middle is perfect for SMGs and shotguns, the sidelines are perfect for assault rifles, and the houses make for great spots for camping snipers. Spawn points are so close together that any player spawning in is never further than 10 seconds away from the action, intensifying the action and making kills more frequent. Not only this, but its spawn pattern was also very easy to learn. If the majority of your team is on one side, then the enemy is spawning on the other. Further aiding its popularity is the split screen compatibility of this map. Playing on a slightly larger map like Summit means that the time between two competing players seeing each other is dramatically increased, making it an undoubtedly slower paced game. And let's face it, we need that dopamine, baby! But nostalgia aside, I'm more interested in the history of NukeTown. Were tests like this ever actually put into practice? Well, what I found was both horrifying and incredibly cool. As many of you correctly assumed, the map itself is based on the iconic nuke scene from Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, where good old indigenous Johannes is faced with the terrifying realization that he's smack dab in the middle of a nuclear weapons testing site, upon which he manages to escape with his life by hiding in a refrigerator. However, what you probably didn't know is that this scene itself is based on the very real Operation Q. The purpose of Operation Q was to test the effects of a nuclear blast on windows, radio towers, electrical substations, food, and even people. This was done by building different types of houses and filling them with furniture and mannequins, much like with what we see in Black Ops 1's NukeTown, including the substations mentioned earlier. What you are seeing now is a film made by the US government in 1955 that shows not only the direct effects of the blast, but also the aftermath. There are 4 houses being tested in this video. The first is a first floor frame building without a basement, fitted with a bathroom shelter made with reinforced concrete. The second is a 2-story non-reinforced brick home backed with cinder blocks. The third is a house made with 8-inch cinder blocks reinforced with steel. The fourth is a 1-story house made of precast concrete. The fifth is a purpose-built home made to better withstand the bomb. Mannequins are placed in each and every house to observe the damage dealt to an individual in various positions inside the house. There were also mannequins placed outside of the house to be tested. These would suffer the most severe effects due to being in direct line of sight of the blast. In this regard, Black Ops 1's depiction of these doom towns is very accurate. However, there are some rather subtle differences that make the map's depiction of these tests rather unrealistic. The first and most apparent of them being the nuke itself. Whenever a game of NukeTown ends, a cutscene will play of a nuke tearing the town to shreds. This nuke can be seen, not only falling during the cutscene, but also waiting to drop during the game. Luckily, the nuke itself cannot be set off by any bullet or rocket fired by the players, no matter how much they try. Additionally, the effects of the bomb are much tamer in Black Ops 1's cutscene than they are in real life. In the cutscene, we only see windows shatter following a blinding flash. In reality, the damage to buildings is far greater. The first house has its paint job get evaporated before being torn to shreds by the shockwave. However, the bathroom shelter was still intact underneath the rubble. The second house didn't fare much better, collapsing completely after the shockwave. The steel reinforced third house survives the blast due to its added layer of protection. The purpose-built home was charred on the outside, as well as having some minor damage. The fourth home was unfortunately not mentioned. So in reality, what we should be seeing is these houses being blown to bits, when in-game, they mostly withstand the blast. This could also be a budget constraint, however, seeing as how the NukeTown map was never a planned part of Black Ops 1. The nuke we see dropped in Black Ops 1 is similar in appearance to the nuke dropped on Nagasaki, nicknamed Fat Man, dropped from a nuclear bomb tower seen in the backdrop of the map. Another great touch is an observation bunker in the distance, filled with homicidal mannequins, seemingly watching the the test in action. If you've ever looked up in NukeTown and seen this clock, then you may have recognized it as a doomsday clock, which displays how much time is left in the match. In real life, the doomsday clock is a symbol that represents the likelihood of a man-made global catastrophe, midnight being doomsday. It's based on the opinions of the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists. Currently, the clock sits at 100 seconds to midnight, due to the failure of world leaders to avoid nuclear warfare, which is the closest we've ever been to nuclear annihilation. So, sleep well tonight. NukeTown isn't loved for its history, however, but rather for its countless secrets and Easter eggs. The most well-known of these involve the mannequins. If you shoot off all the heads of every mannequin present inside the map's boundaries, something rather special gets played from the loudspeakers. In Black Ops 2, NukeTown 2025, this Easter egg would return in a far more entertaining fashion. Once players have shot off the mannequin heads within 2 minutes of the match starting, the NukeTown screen board will allow players to play retro Activision titles with an 8-bit rendition of an Atari controller. These games include Pitfall, Hero, Kaboom, and River Raid. In my opinion, River Raid is the most fun, but I'd highly encourage you to give this Easter egg a go for yourself. It's not very hard to pull off, and trying to beat each other's high scores is surprisingly fun. In Black Ops 3's rendition, however, this Easter egg is anything but fun. Shooting the heads off all mannequins in this game will turn them into zombie-like monsters, which chase the player. This isn't all, however. Shooting off all the arms instead is even worse. Much like with the heads, the mannequins will turn into zombies with one horrifying change. They only move when you look away. This is undoubtedly a reference to Doctor Who's Weeping Angels, statue-like beings who suck the time energy off of any victims they come across in order to live forever. Shooting both heads and arms off the mannequins will result in the same scenario as before, but with overwhelming numbers, hunting down players until the match ends. This is far from the only Easter egg I found on this map, however. If you look up at the sky in Black Ops 1's NukeTown, you will spot a double rainbow, which is a reference to the incredibly ancient meme popular in 2010.
Double rainbow all the way across the sky!
Another great Easter egg is a population number on the NukeTown sign itself, displaying the number of players connected to the game. Smaller details like this coat the map in droves. The mailboxes, for example, are labeled as Woods and Mason, main characters in both Black Ops and Black Ops 2. On both sides of the map, a small RCXD-shaped cut can be found in the fence, leading to a small racetrack with a jump in the middle, only clearable with a boost-assisted jump. This neat little touch can also be found in Black Ops 2's depiction, being a 60s retro vision of the future. Curiously, this nuclear test seems to take place in a normal city, as you can see regular cars in the distance with the scope. Black Ops 2's NukeTown also has several cool details for you to play with and look at, featuring an interactive shuffleboard that can be played by knifing various pucks. Fun fact, on the NukeTown 2025 sign outside the map, a Geiger counter can be seen ticking up as the game progresses, indicating increasing levels of radiation. Once the game is over, the Geiger counter will go red, following the detonation of the nuke from the dome. In reality, Geiger counters do not increase in readings before a nuke detonates, as this would imply a leak of radioactive material from the bomb. One more little cool detail I didn't notice until I started reading into the trivia for this video. If you look up at the sun, the glare will be in the form of an atom. Neat. All in all, NukeTown is a fan favorite for a reason. For many of us who have played split screen back on PS3 and 360, it was the go-to map. It was fun, interesting, simple, and allowed for every playstyle imaginable. Whether it's the original NukeTown 2025 or any other of the countless remasters added into the newer games, I can say for certain that this map is responsible for countless memories. It highlights the best aspect of Call of Duty's fun and turns it up to 11, with a heavy sprinkling of fun minigames to boot. It will always be my go-to map for any Call of Duty game that has it. So Adam Hoggett, thank you for your incredible work. Without you, countless people would not have nearly as many memories to think back on when the times get tough. Thanks for watching.